Welcome back once again to the workshop, and I have just recently made the previous video talking about the 345 method that we're going to be utilizing and the bar that we'll be using to achieve that. And I referenced and I've shown it before, but I've referenced the optical center punch and the diamond tipped etching pen. I really don't know whether I can show you the benefit of it, but it's pretty darn good. But if I come down here, I don't know how close I can get before I go out of focus. But let's just see whether it's not focused there, I know. Let's just come up. You can see the etched line there and possibly the cross. Well, you can see that. And then right in the center of that, there's a center mark. Very, very, very small, I've got to say. I didn't like to hit that too hard, but it does locate the tip, which is itself quite sharp, got to say. So it does get a nice locating point there. The lines on the end of the optical part of the center punch, you can see there, can I get a focusing, where are we? Yeah, you can see them there, very fine. They're probably finer than a hair. Yeah, I'd say they are finer than a hair, and that allows, when you insert them into the holder, to locate over your etched marks, which are themselves very fine, which was good to see. And then if I'll just line it up, let's just see, I'll take my glasses off, as we're coming in, you might be able to just see the crosshairs zooming in and out of, or going in and out of screen. But it allows you to align the crosshairs up on your etched line, still holding it there, and don't bump it like I just did, but pull out your optical side of it, pop your center punch in, and give it a bit of a tap to get that center mark. There is no way more accurate than that, short of CNC machining. Yes, I know you can ink it out, whatever, I can't remember the name of it, the bluing ink, indicator ink, whatever you want to call it, and then etch it with an etching tool. That's effectively what I've done here, but it's this in combination with this that will hopefully allow me to get my starting. I'd like to have had a spotting drill. I don't have a spotting drill, didn't even know there was such a thing, but I have got the very fine tip center bit drills. Walk this way. And I've got long ones and I've got short ones. But I've got a set of varying sizes, and these very small centering bits have got a very small pilot hole. So hopefully they will, they locate there quite nicely. As I said, I didn't actually give that much of a smack to give the center mark there, but because I did a bit scared of blunting it, and I don't want that. But if we can get that center mark there, find that center mark with the tip of the center drill, then I'm on a winner. In fact, there's even a smaller center drill. It's even smaller. Don't know what size the center bit there would be, the pilot hole would there. I'll probably snap them, to be fair, so I don't want to go too silly. I'll probably use one of these other slightly bigger centering bits and then go from there. So I like these. When you think about them, you're actually drilling with that fine tip, but you put that in a drill and you've got all sorts of potential for breaking, whereas here it's so short in comparison to the main body of the centering bit that it's a little bit more robust. That's what I want, and that's what I need. Later on, I can actually use the longer versions of these that actually will slide into the guides, because they are an 8mm body with a 3mm pilot hole, so they fit in there pretty good. And that is what I was going to use this and this for, is to actually guide these things. That's why I've got longer 100mm long ones, in fact, versions of these, so that we can use them in conjunction with the guides to get our center marks on the panels, which then allow our square jig or drill that holds the 20mm bit square, and we can get the fine point of that 20mm drill located in the wee marks that these made. So it's an incrementally a process to get accurately marked center. There's the big problem, but is actually making sure they're in the right place. But I've also said that what we need to do is to make sure we use a running measurement type approach, not measure, mark type thing. That's a cumulative marking approach, recipe for disaster. Whereas if I've got a rule of whatever length, and I might even go purchase an engineer's rule that's 1 meter long, and that way I can scribe off of the mark on the ruler onto the steel, hopefully ensuring that I get as accurate a mark on the steel to be able to then scribe, center punch, drill, tap, thread, etc. If we just come this way into the corner here, this particular rule, it's only, how long is it? 500. The actual increments, the measurements, have got a light etching. So I can, hopefully, doing this with one hand, I can go from here and etch onto the metal as accurately as I possibly can. It would be different if they were simply printed, but being etched, I am relying on the fact that I can come from that etched mark off onto the steel and give me my accurate measurements. And that is why I was mentioning that I probably would be better off going and getting an engineer's rule that's 1 meter long, because that's going to facilitate getting those additional measurements with only one move of the rule, not multiples. So it would be nice to get an engineer's rule that's the full length of this, but I'd hate to think how much that would cost. Anyway, that's my approach. That's my video for talking about that. Now I've got to go and prove it to myself. One of the things I was wondering whether to etch before I clean up the mill scale, because the mill scale itself helps you to identify and see your marks. But yeah, I'm a little bit loath not to do it, not to clean it up first. Bit of Sharpie pen on there, marker pen on there where we want to mark, etch through the ink. Yeah, I might do that. Clean it up first. It's a messy old job, but it's got to be done at some stage. Might as well make a mess now and then have them all cleaned up and then go from there. Rightio, that's my little explanation. The one thing that I don't know though, and I'm going to have to look on the site where I bought these tools from, is I can understand the sharpness of this punch, can't understand the bluntness of this one. It's not sharp at all. Wonder why they did that. It's almost like it's an eraser for your mark. I'm spitballing this idea. If you've made a mark and it's not quite right, do you use this one to give it a bit of a smacking? It smooths out that little sharp point. You can reposition your centre point and then give it another go. I'm wondering whether that's what I've got no idea. I can't recall seeing them talk about it. And why is it actually? You'd think it would be rounded off. I don't know. As I said, spitballing. Rightio. Onwards and upwards. Oh God, getting that saying coming back again. It's one of those earworm type things. I'm at least a step further than I was this morning when I didn't have that steel bar. Other than that, I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't want to have spouted off about this is what you do, and then this not work out as accurately as I want it. The way to figure it out is to drill all of the holes and then see whether the other bars fit in those other holes. What I am contemplating is to sit the bars on top of each other and drill through all of them. So if I make a mistake, I make a mistake on all of the holes. That's really, really dangerous. But at least then that first hole can have a pin in it to register it, and then all the other marks ever thereafter are going to be at least consistent with each other. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I would defer to the engineers in the room. They'd probably say mark each individual one. If you find that there's something not right, something's not right, because they won't register on an alternative bar. I'm a bit nervous about which way to go on that one. Don't know. Don't have my friend who is an engineer. He passed away about 18 months ago. He's only a year older than I am, or was when he died. And he was a great source of knowledge as far as the engineering side of things go. Poor old Tony. But that is part of life, is it not? Rightio. I'll see you in the next video now. Bye.